Jonah will be out there today. Yep. And everybody else, we'll see how the week goes. Good football team coming in here. Offensively, quarterback can make magic, really good player. Can beat you with his arm and his legs. They got really good skill guys. Good scheme. Defensively, I think one of the best defenses we'll play, truthfully. They play extremely hard. They're very sound. They tackle. They pressure the quarterback. They can cover. Impact players all three levels. They got continuity on that side of the ball. They play with accelerated vision, as I would say. They take the ball away. So we got a work cut out for us. It's going to be a big-time challenge.
Do defending rookie quarterbacks, is that any different now than maybe when you first got into coaching in the league? Or is it about the same?
I don't know that, Darren. I think every quarterback's different. Every scheme's different. We got to know what he likes to do and how he operates, and try to make it hard on him as much as we can.
Through watching film, in what ways does he play beyond his years?
He knows where to go with the ball. He's accurate, and then the extension plays, is unique.
Before he went down, what sense did you get of what Jonah could give you this season?
Be a big-time player for us.
When you look at his skill set, are there things that jump out?
Yeah, I mean, he's very technique sound. He's strong. He's smart. Plays with really good pad level. He didn't play much, but he played well the snaps that he played, so we'll take it day by day with him.
How are Naquan and Roy doing?
See, I think they'll be kind of limited, both of them, as the week goes on here, but they're both doing well. Sean, same kind of boat. He feels pretty good, so I don't. He'll be out there today.
What makes this defense so strong in the red zone? They seem to be at the top.
Number one in the league. They got enough stuff, and they're sound, and they play fast, and they're coordinated extremely well, and they got really good players. So they do a good job down there.
What's it like for you to coach against Matt?
Flew, my guy, man. Yeah, it'll be good to see him, but. You guys know my story with him. I was, worked for him for 3 years in Indy. People ask me about him all the time. It's like the first thing that comes to my mind is elite leadership skills. I learned so much from him, not just defensively, because I learned a lot defensively from him. Brand new system for me, but just the day-to-day and accountability and how to get the most out of your guys and what that looks like. And I took a lot what I learned from him to Philly and then to here, so he's definitely helped shape my game, so he's been a really cool resource for me. I love his family. His family did a lot for my family in Indy. It'd be good to see him.
With the familiarity, does that maybe up the difficulty as far as preparation for?
No. I mean, it's different teams, different players, all that stuff. But I know he'll have his team ready to play. I know that.
How does that work in the lead up to a game? Are you guys texting at all, or are you guys no contact?
I'll leave it between us.
We're about halfway to the midseason point. How would you assess your overall front seven play, and more specifically the pass rush?
Yeah, I think we got to continue to find ways to affect the passer. There's been some glimpses in some games where we've done it pretty consistently, and there's been some games that we haven't been so consistent. So I think all 11 guys, rush and coverage, cover and rush. My wife knows that phrase, She knows it to be true, though, So everyone's got to be coordinated, and this is a big-time challenge for us because he forces you to play differently on defense. He really does because of his skill set. So we're going to have to execute that plan.
How much of the challenge is it also with the pass rush, with the way quarterbacks get rid of the ball a lot of times so quickly?
Yeah. It's hard, some guys win and the ball's out, whizzing by their ear, you know what I mean? So that's just the NFL game today. That's why there's so many points. That's why there's so many elite quarterbacks out there. You gotta do things throughout the game that try to make them uncomfortable, and there's a whole list of things that go into that. So we got to be on the details of that this week.
You talk so much about the technique for defensive backs. Where is Garrett at on all that stuff?
He's doing well. He's doing well. Yeah, he continues to improve each week. I think there's learning from all his snaps every game that he plays, and he's young. I know second year, but he kind of missed the first part of the last year, coming off the injury. So he's got a ton of growth, but he's playing good football for us right now. We ask a lot of him. And he can do it physically. He can do it mentally. He's been a good player for us.
How has he grown in that year since he got healthy? A year or so since he got healthy last possible.
Off the field, I think he's grown with his process and what he does. He's a guy that, not to get too much into his business, but I felt like was doing a little too much at times. So we kind of streamlined his process a little bit. And then I think just, understanding, what we ask of him and those different techniques and what needs to get done. And, he gets tough straw a lot, in the slot. That's a tough position to play. Because you got the whole route tree to defend, and a lot of times you don't have any help, and can't get beat deep, but you got to challenge the first and second level routes. There's a lot going on for him, so he's doing a good job. I'm glad we have him.
When you see guys, especially young guys, put too much on their plays, is that something you step in personally and say, hey, why don't we work on cutting out this, just focus on this?
Yeah, just all of our players are different, but he's a guy that actually is funny that you asked, Teo. He's a guy that pops out in my mind that, when he leaves here, he does a lot. And I just kind of have talked to him about streamlining, what he's doing from 6 p.m. till 11 p.m., to make sure that he's ready to go, and it's always you'd rather have that. But you look at his iPad, it's like, dude, how'd you watch 6 hours of tape from 7 to midnight? Like there's only 5 hours, you know what I mean? So I'm on him about getting enough rest and unwinding. He puts a lot of time into his craft, which I appreciate, but you got to be smart about it too. So he's receptive and he's good and he's working on it. I saw his mom in the lobby in Miami. And she was like, when she comes and visits, he has a process that he doesn't allow anyone to mess up. You know what I mean? That's a good thing, So he's very mature, very mature.
What is the realistic expectations in terms of getting Darius on the field for however many?
Yeah, one day at a time with Darius. You know what I mean? I know procedurally we made the move that we made. We'll take it one day at a time, but he's doing good.
Fan of this game, as a coach in this game, do you have any sort of reaction when you see a play like unfolded with the Bears and the Commanders that last?
Just try to learn from it, both sides, just like we do around the league. We try to learn from everything that we can, educate our guys, and just try to learn.
Given that kind of loss, do you notice teams having more of a chip on their shoulder, playing with a little more?
I'm sure they will.
Who's got the 40?
Chris Moore. Yeah, he did a good job. He was wearing 17 last week, so he did a good job for us.
Coach, where do you assess the mentality, the emotion of this team right now?
Yeah, that's a good question. Mentality is it doesn't matter how you feel, you got to act.
How has Moore with his role this year, where he was active all that time, and then when Zay came back, he ended up back on the practice squad?
He's a pro, man. He puts a lot into his craft and feel really comfortable about his role, and his role ascending on a drop of a dime. He can do that for us. So glad he's here.
Back to the vibe of the team. Beach set up for the game. Those are games you went to won in the past, and now this is back-to-back weeks where you've come from behind. Can that add a confidence? Can it add a swagger to a team when you're showing yourself that you can win in any situation?
Yeah, I mean, we laugh about it like this is the whole NFL. You're a couple plays away from being better than your record and worse than your record. You know what I mean? That's the NFL. So, that's why we don't really live in the past, But I think our team knows, like, if we play good, clean football, we can beat anybody. You know what I mean? That's the attitude that they take. But the challenge is you win Sunday today. you win Sunday on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you know, so that's what our guys focused on right now. They're in meetings right now, and then it's going to be in a practice field today.
How do you feel about the team's consistency the last couple of weeks?
Say it again, Josh.
How do you feel about the team's consistency the last couple?
You're asking me, so I have a high standard of consistency, so it's always can improve, you know. That's what you're always striving for, you know. But again, like I'll have my eye on today, the consistency of doing the right things today in practice, you know, everybody, you know, from whether it be ball security to our effort to the details of how they get aligned to the calls being made to, you know, how many balls we got on the ground to our tempo, you know, everything, man, everything matters. Everything matters.
You mentioned close games and just the way the NFL is and confidence of the team. You know how many games are close games in the fourth quarter and what has to happen to win there. How much, like, doing that you feel has helped that confidence of the team?
Yeah, again, though, like it's about the players, you know what I mean? So they put in the work, and then when it's, you know, time to make plays to either win or lose the game, I feel really good about our guys because of the preparation that was put forth to put them in that position to make those plays. So we don't lack confidence. This team doesn't lack confidence. They know they can play with anybody, but they also know that they can get, you know, smoked by anybody too if we're not on point. So that's the NFL, you know. But I think what our team's doing a good job of right now, we'll see today. You know, can we compartmentalize each day and really maximize each thing that we're doing on a day-to-day basis? So I'll have an answer for you after today, see if it's to my liking.
Coach, thank you.
Okay, thank you, guys.